Government printer says that the draft bill on the 19th Amendment to the Constitution will be printed and published tonight. Thereby, powers vested with the Executive President will be amended according to the proposed constitutional amendment.
The amendments also include the removal of powers vested with the President to dissolve Parliament, limitations on immunity from courts and protocol to be followed when appointing secretaries to ministries. According to the proposed reforms, the term of the Executive President is due to be reduced from 6 years to 5, while the President's term will be restricted to 2 terms. However, the President will remain as the head of state and Commander-in-Chief. The attempt of many is to transform the current executive presidency to one that will be a puppet and a namesake president. We have managed to defeat it and reached agreements on amendments on several key points as promised. This will be reconsidered again in Parliament. All of us will agree to pass the constitutional amendments in Parliament only if the electoral reform take place concurrently. If a constitutional amendment is taking place, it is not being carried out arbitrarily so that 2 or 3 conspirators can achieve power. What will transpire in the future is a constitutional amendment where the President, who is appointed by the people's mandate, is vested with responsibility, where the President will be the head of the government and the state while protecting the independence of the Parliament.
විධායක ජනාධිපති ධූරය ඉවත් කිරීමේ කාර්යයත්
The clear stance of the United People's Freedom Alliance and the Sri Lanka Freedom Party is that the executive presidency be abolished and the new electoral reform be introduced so that the next election will be held under a new election system. The government cannot pass this without the support of the majority members of Parliament, who are over 130 MPs from the United People's Freedom Alliance. Therefore, a massive support for this cause is being rendered by the UPFA, which includes the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and not the United National Party. However, the stance of Ranil Wickremesinghe was that the President should operate on the advice of the Prime Minister. We have not agreed to that. President Maithripala Sirisena was elected President by the people's vote. Therefore, we have accepted that he has the right to hold a ministry pertaining to development and the Ministry of Defence. We are also of the stance that he should be given the power to appoint governors of the provinces. All the parties in the UPFA, including the SLFP, were against the draft. Ranil Wickremesinghe was attempting to bring this in as an emergency bill. We did not allow that. We noted that if this was presented as an emergency bill, we will not give a single vote in favour. The reason being that there is a high possibility for petitions to be presented to the Supreme Court and this be discussed in the Supreme Court and in society. When this becomes an emergency bill, all the matters will be over in 3 days. This will not happen like that.
ඔන්න ගත්තා ඔන්න දැම්ම මෙන්න ගියා කියලා ඉවර කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් එහෙම කරන්න පුළුවන් කමක් නැහැ.
පසුගිය 12 වෙනිදා ගරු අගමැතිතුමා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ඉදිරිපත් කළ 19 වෙනි ව්‍යවස්ථා සංශෝධනයේ නමින් අපි ඒකට අපේ විරෝධය පළ කළා.
On the 12th, the Prime Minister presented the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. We opposed to it because there were 2 primary facts in it which we could not agree to. A party leaders' meeting was called for. The cabinet convened. We have agreed to amend certain points. One is to limit the arbitrary power of the executive presidency. It has also been agreed to reduce the tenure of the president from 6 years to 5 years. The new constitutional reforms propose for the possibility to file fundamental rights cases. Next is that the president had the power to dissolve parliament a year after it had been elected. That power has now been removed. The power to implement the executive power, including that of national security, will be vested on the president elected by the people. The powers of appointing judges to the Supreme Court, Appeals Court and other courts were vested with the President. That power has been removed and vested with the Judicial Services Commission. We hope that this draft bill will move forward and will be passed in Parliament.
ඒක සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම ඉවත් කළා අධිකරණ සේවා කොමිසමට ගිහින් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා මේ ඉදිරිපත් කළ තියෙන කෙටුම්පත මේ විදිහටම ඉස්සරහට යයි කියලා. මේක අපේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ අනුමත කරයි කියලා අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
The JVP says that draft bill on the amendment to the Constitution has a positive approach. At the Central Committee meeting that was convened today, the JVP has agreed to support the draft bill on the amendment to the Constitution when presented to Parliament and to present more amendments if required. The JVP is of the view that the creation of a new electoral system should be more accurate and more democratic than the existing one. The JVP points out that Parliament needs to be dissolved after the 23rd of April as promised and emphasised that it should not be delayed.
පෞගිය ජනවාරි මාසේ 8 වෙනිදා මේ රටේ ජනතාව ඡන්දෙ දුන්නේ දින 100 වැඩපිළිවෙලට
On the 8th of January, the people of this country voted for the 100-day program, where the 17th Amendment will be effective, while abolishing the 18th and introducing the 19th Amendment. Abolish the executive presidency and provide relief to the people. The people wanted to defeat the autocratic rule and implement the 100-day program so that a new parliament will be created after the 23rd of April, where a parliament free of drug peddlers, ethanol peddlers, murderers and rogues will be created. If that promise is to be made, the government led by Ranil Wickremesinghe cannot remain in power after the 23rd of April. The promises made to the people need to be fulfilled. The United National Party has taken a decision to work on it. Thereby, Parliament will be dissolved on a date closer to the 29th of April.
මේ රටේ ජනතාව මැතිවරණ නෙවෙයි ඉල්ලන්නේ. පාර්ලිමේන්තුව විසුරා හැරීමේ බලය තියෙන්නේ ජනාධිපතිට. සහ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ බහුතර බලය හිමි කරගන්න පක්ෂයට.
The country is not seeking for an election. Power to dissolve parliament lies with the president and the party that holds the majority in parliament. This cannot be decided on by the working committee of the United National Party. This cannot be presented as an emergency bill and compiled and passed within 24 hours. There needs to be a broad discussion and a debate. Therefore, we need to say that do not attempt any conspiracies. Reforms to the electoral system is a promise that cannot be cast aside. That must happen. You must look as to how this will benefit not one person, but as to how it will benefit the people as a whole. If Ranil Wickremesinghe will not provide leadership to process to amend the constitution, who will provide the leadership for it? Is the SLFP ready for it? Is it someone else from the UNP? Is Karujaya Surya ready for this? Is Nimal Siripala de Silva ready for this? Is Sajid Premadasa ready for this? Or is Anur Kumara or Sambandhan ready for this? Anyone can take leadership and pass this in parliament. That accord needs to be reached. It is sad to note that the behavior of the United National Party is an obstruction to maintain this cooperation.
ඒකත් අරගන්න පුළුවන් මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුව ඇතුලේ මේ සම්මුතිය ඇති කරගන්න. මේ එකඟතාවය ඇති කරගන්න. අවශ්‍ය කනගාටුවට කාරණේ මේ සම්මුතිය මේ සහයෝගීතාවය පවත්වාගෙන යාම සඳහා එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ හැසිරීම අද බාධාවක් වෙලා තියෙනවා.